Hello, Dota 2 fans. Welcome back. Series 2 of the day, Dota Summit 8. South America qualifiers. MRP, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster here on behalf of Beyond the Summit. We've got SG Esports versus Sacred. Also known as King Tekka's team. Sacred looked a little bit shaky thus far in the qualifiers, but did manage to squeak through here. And they definitely have a tall order to fill as far as taking out SG Esports. So Sacred did beat Elite Wolves, lost to Pain, and then beat Elite Wolves again in the lower bracket to advance to this phase. Pain just actually lost to Infamous, so they are unfortunately out of the qualifier. If you guys joined me for that series. Winner moves on to face Infamous for the qualifying spot from South America for Summit 8. So big stakes on the table for this series. Hope you guys have been enjoying your Saturday. And if not, hopefully whichever team you're rooting for can give you a little morale boost in this one. Wyvern Nightstalker bans from SG Esports, and Bane Spirit Breaker thus far coming away from Sacred. So relatively common bans as far as the recent meta. A lot of interesting strats in South America. Most often pick-off pace, but we do see teams like Sacred specifically run the Undying from time to time. They ban the Earthshaker here, and they will have first pick. So we'll see what the ban ends up being from SG Esports. But if they don't ban the Undying, rest assured, it is high on the pecking order as far as what Sacred will consider for the first pick. Of course, there's always the Rubik as well. Masoku very comfortable with his Rubik. Ancient Apparition has been rising in popularity as well in this region, at least. They'll ban the puck. Okay, so away from Leo style, that is maybe by far his best hero. And they actually end up picking the Lich. Okay, so a little bit more stable, stagnant, boring beginning for King Tekka's squad. And I have to agree that potentially the puck ban is the best one in that third slot for SG. Leo style, pretty much the only reason they even, you know, kind of tangled with Pain, who did end up beating Sacred, was because of Leo style's puck play, which kind of kept them in the game in many aspects. So they'll ban out that signature hero for Leo style. Other signature heroes, Benjaz Luna has been leaned on a lot for Sacred, so look for that as a potential second phase ban for SG. But they'll start their draft off with this Earth Spirit. Okay, so the Nature's Prophet, we've seen Pain run this quite a bit with Tavo. And we'll see how SG can get it going. Decent versus the Lich, can kind of harass him out early on, force him to skill the Ice Armor, which isn't all that uncommon anyways, but Lich doesn't pose a major threat to the Prophet in lane, so he can force the presence of potentially another support down to the safe lane, which allows the Earth Spirit roam.
Flada.
Okay, so the member of the Deeps, the proprietor of Haste in the River. Really cool to watch the new Slardar. Can kind of shadow the movements of the Prophet, albeit slightly slower. Of course, the sprint, the OP kind of sprint speed doesn't quite ramp up until you put levels in it. But in general, you see kind of 3-4-0 on Slardar before a point's put into Bash. So there will be more than likely at least 2 levels of sprint before level 6. So really good roaming hero, whereas the lane is kind of held down or managed by the Lich. Can kind of shadow the movements of the Earth Spirit and the Prophet. Also very good at collecting the bounty runes now that they've been moved closer in proximity to the river. So Slardar with relatively low risk can scoop at least 2 of those up on one side of the map. Mirana ban comes out for SG. Arc Warden ban for Sacred. Not sure if Costabile plays that or Costabile. It is his last name. I'm trying my best to pronounce it there. Costabile. I'm not sure if Adriano ADR plays it as well. But Arc Warden, this seems like it has to be a targeted ban. I haven't seen much of SG lately. But in order to ban that hero straight up in the second phase, there's got to be some homework behind that. Weaver bans we saw all day today earlier on in our series. So I suppose the Weaver bans were against HFN on Payne's side. But I suppose just generally relatively scary hero to be facing up against. So the Chen pick comes out for SG. So already building sort of a zoo of characters here with the Chen and the Nature's Prophet. Definite potential for them to push. Definite potential for them to tip the scales in one certain sector of the map in the early game. And by that I mean Chen rotating over to a lane, Prophet TPing in. That is a lot of pressure that can potentially be applied.
Life Stealer.
So the Lifestealer, very kind of throwback combo with the Slardar, pretty good against the Chen, as he can both rage off, the creeps, potentially abilities as far as, the Stomp and the Thunderclap go, even the Purge to an extent. Of course, the Net will still be useful for the Chen, but we'll see how RNG favors him in this matchup. So yeah, very throwback combo with the Slardar. With the Ice Armor, becomes very tanky, having the innate spell immunity in his toolkit as well. Ember Spirit ban coming out from Sacred. So kind of just banning away early fighters, I suppose, at that Ember. Definitely a team that can snowball out of the lanes, SG thus far. So there will not be, more than likely, a Benjaz Luna in this game, as the Lifestealer was picked up. Leshrac, wow, this is different. Similar in vein to the Ember Spirit, however, much more structural damage with the Diabolic Edict. Really cool pick, and different one at that. Is a bit susceptible to the Infest gank, though. Pretty low HP and armor overall for this hero. And there's no real counter initiation versus that Infest Bomb. Sure, you can Boulder Smash, but you're only going to connect with the Slardar more than likely because the Lifestealer will be raging out of Infest. And even so, the Slardar is pretty quick on his feet or his gills and can sidestep that.
Of pain.
So the Queen of Pain versus Leshrac matchup, more than likely going to chronicle the mid lane. Bat Rider. Bat Ride Stealer. Bat Rider ban for SG Esports. I really feel like, the Bat Rider makes a lot of sense as far as dragging some of these more fragile heroes out of the fray for SG Esports, but it just doesn't feel like they have frontline right now. It's going to be, they're totally relying on the Earth Spirit for their initiation and initial team fight control, and that is certainly not reliable versus a Life Stealer. Terrorblade Ben coming out from the Sacred side, so just another push ready safe laner. Certainly, you want to consider Sven as SG Esports. Warcry is just so nice to have.
Legion Commander.
And the Legion makes a lot of sense. Magic damage, nuke up against a lot of units. Chen's units, Nature's Prophet, potentially as well. And you want Leshrac relatively close to the tower. Leshrac, to be getting the Edict pulses off. So I really like the Legion pick overall. Pretty good to catch out the Prophet in general. More than likely he's going to have a Quelling Blade in her inventory. And the Duel, of course, has pretty good range. It'll be the Razor to finish it off for SG, which means it is a safe lane Razor as Adriano picks up the Leshrac. Very interesting stuff coming out from SG Esports. A little more standard from King Tekka's Sacred squad. A lot of pick-off potential. There's the Blink Queen of Pain, 2 Blink builders in Slardar and Legion Commander, and of course the Life Stealer, who's going to be a present hidden inside the aforementioned trio of heroes. So Razor kind of picked as the direct Life Stealer counter with the Static Link. Pretty good against Legion as well. Decent against the single target of Slardar, Lich, and Co-op. Still would have kind of liked to see Sven, but he does give them a little bit more laned ability, maybe, than the Sven does. It's hard to really say with the Sven providing the stun, but we'll see how this ends up panning out for SG, that 5th pick Razor, that is. And Bardo, the captain, tagged up as Bardinho right now. Looking real fly on his Chen. Alright, guys, what's going on? Is there a pause here? Alright, we're in, boys. And grills. Let's do it. It's second best of 2 of the day. South American qualifiers for the Dota Summit number 8. In beautiful Los Angeles, California. It's going to be happening in December. Early December. I don't know the exact date. I think it's something like the 13th. And both teams almost mirror images of one another, making their way down towards the bottom lane as 5. Benjaz take the scenic route on his Life Stealer. And yeah, so it will be the safe lane Razor. No swapping between ADR and Costaville. Trient's doing a little bit of a scouting mission here. Maybe he'll have it patrol the staircase. Not sure what the exact intention is for Liposa. But he can catch a glimpse of Benjaz. Trient's will come down and Dire will scout it. Radiant, not seeing much just yet up on the high ground. However, Benjaz perhaps baiting for the rest of his team, as ADR a great target to start in on, but no instant cast point disable for this trio. There's just a Slithering Crush and kind of need to get inbound for that. Don't want to have to skill the Frost Nova early. All right, they're walking uphill here. Theo in trouble, gonna get, well, not crushed just yet from Matthew. Bardo makes it off to the west as well. And Chen, quick enough it seems. Roll comes through. Crush is going to connect onto 2. The Earth Spirit is in a lot of trouble now. Theo taking a couple right clicks. Blink is going to be skilled up by Leo, but he finds the first blood. Matthew forced to Crush away from the Nature's Prophet, and a TP out. Now roll forward from the Earth Spirit, trying to find the Slardar. They are still kind of doing the little ring around the rosy here.
Worthy
And a TP out from the Lich in towards the mid lane to help take out the range creep there, more than likely. Yep, sacrifice was used to help Benjaz out. He's going to be versus the Razor, so both teams with a little bit of a lane swap miss on the roll from Theo. Not sure that they had the damage regardless to kill him off with the rolling boulder, but either way, a couple of misfires early from Theo. Not what you want mentally to start your game off as an Earth Spirit, and promptly Sacred here will figure that their Lifestealer versus Razor mid lane matchup is not the greatest, and they'll swap it over with the Quap, but SG will react accordingly as they bring TP in ADR towards that mid lane. 1v1 top lane, Legion Commander versus the Prophet. I'd say Prophet's slight advantage here, but Legion more than enough in her toolkit to kind of deal with this NP. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Open Wounds goes out. Rolling Boulder is going to be there to keep back Sacred, though, from killing off Costabil, who has the level in the unstable current here. And still needs to ding in order to get his static link. He's just trying to hit creeps here to ding, and finally will be able to do so. Matthew down to the south. There is a test of a Holy Persuasion here. Oh, that doesn't do all that much. Boulder though, not in range. Roll does not come out. Meanwhile, they do, with the Nature's Prophet, actually kill off the Lich, and Matthew again.
Stolen from sight.
Shenanigans all early game long for this Slardar. Now though, he's pincered in, slowed up by the unstable current, passive proc, and Razor will find himself a kill for SG's side. Meanwhile, somehow I missed this kill. As the Lich rotates in with a Frost Nova mid lane, Benjaz going to be able to net the kill. No rage even necessary for that one. Just the slows from the Open Wounds and Frost Blast are enough to pursue ADR's Leshrac. He's going to make it back to lane shortly. As Leo Style taking up the bottom lane on his Queen of Pain. Really trying to get this Lifestealer away from the Razor matchup. ADR is going to catch the stun onto the Lich. And that'll keep any further pursuit at bay. Matthew gonna stop the tornado from being casted by the Chen, which has made life a little bit difficult for Leo Style. Big wave coming under the tower here, and no heroes nearby as far as the Radiant go to contest all this farm that they're feeding over here to Leo Style's Queen of Pain. So Leo Style more than happy to soak this up as he's going to ding his level 4 mark here shortly. Mid lane rotations in from the Earth Spirit, and they have a net nearby. So this is the one kind of tool that can deal with rage. As you see that pierce his spell immunity. Roll, gonna miss once again from Theo. And he has been off the mark early in the early going in this one. So as you see, Leo Style level 4 in the off lane.
Haste.
CS heavily in favor of the Dire currently. Only 6 CS to a Razor, which is certainly not what you expect when you pick this hero. As Matthew rotates back down to this bottom lane. Haste Rune up onto Theo. And no troll nearby this time, so still feels very difficult to kill off Benjaz. Frostblast gonna come through. They'll fake queue up the as the Test of Fates come through. Boulder smash misses as well as the rolling boulder. They get the combo though of the sprout and the stun, and with the Treant body blocking, they will kill off Benjaz's Lifestealer finally. And Theo not feeling himself early on in this one, as ADR sidesteps to get the most of the Diabolic Edict procs on the tower. Now a roll forward from Theo, still will not connect. He gets the boulder smash onto 2. Benjaz is going to catch the Penitence, but a TP in from King Tekka will find them a kill with the overwhelming odds. Meanwhile, ADR does end up getting a kill on the back end, and that will be on the Lich. But Razor did die before all of that occurred. bottom lane. So Sacred, I think their rotations have been just slightly more effective than those of their opponent. As bottom lane now, Earth Spirit rotating through. Going to be a very difficult kill is this Queen of Pain. 2-2-1 build right now, so decent amount of nuke damage available to the Razor, but very slippery target in Leo Styles' Queen of Pain. Gotta believe in yourself, Theo. And behind him will be the Matthew Slardar. Dire Vision does not see the Earth Spirit just yet. And Leo Style will bottle on up. And he'll be just fine. Invisibility on the Lich in the mid lane, but I think ADR is healthy enough here. He will drop the stun, so that's going to leave him a little bit vulnerable. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they try to go on Matthew, are unsuccessful in doing so. Link comes out, but the blink from Leo Style will keep him safe. And Theo does not have a boulder smash, only the rolling boulder available, so Leo Style, a difficult kill. Rotations in from the Lich with the invisibility rune bottom lane. And Matthew will look to pincer in the Earth Spirit. Oh, the Chen could be in trouble. He'll get crushed up. Rolling boulder will connect. Nice boulder smash onto 2. And the grip is there for the silence. Can they bring anyone down just yet, though? No. Leo Style gets the Sonic Wave off. Kills off the Chen. They'll get a second kill on the Earth Spirit. Masoku will fall. They'll bring in the Nature's Prophet, but Liposa, he's already used his Sprout. And out towards the mid lane goes the Legion. He's going to look for the duel here and will find it onto ADR. They'll jump forward with the silence and the boulder smash. They'll get the return kill on Benjaz. The lingering Diabolic Edict is doing some work, but still the more valuable, or well, maybe more numerous kills overall, going the way of the Dire. And they do get the dual damage. They will end up feeding the Legion Commander when all is said and done. And this game proving to be quite the matchup here, as Matthew bot lane is going to find Razor, and holding on to his crush very wisely so will ensure the kill. And this Razor pick just not working out for SG in the early going. Net worth pretty heavily dominated by the Dire side. One bright spot for SG has been Liposa's Nature's Prophet, who's about 100 gold or so away from drums. Chen only level 4 at this point, so not exactly what you picked the hero for. You know, it's one of two things. You either get mega farmed and contribute your mech to the team fight with the Hand of God, or you pressure the lanes heavily, and he hasn't really been able to accomplish either of those two objectives for the Chen. Infested up is Matthew, level 2 in the sprint. Soku, you know, kind of trying to bait, but ADR doesn't seem like he's biting it at this point. He's being very well positioned. And now Matthew going to sprint forward, and yeah, they're just not going to waste Benjaz's time any longer. As top lane, they will jump in and get the stomps off. Test of Faith is there. Leo Style blinks forward into a lot of creeps here. He could be in trouble. Excuse me, he TP'd in, did not blink forward. And that's why he felt relatively safe here, but Matthew stalking, looking for the Chen. Bardo trying to TP out, and he won't be successful as the crush comes down, finishes him off. Meanwhile, on the east side, boulder smash comes through. Liposa TP's out successfully, and a roll away from the Earth Spirit, but he's being pursued by Matthew, who gets the crush off. TP's inbound from the Legion Commander as well. She's going to use the overwhelming odds on creeps, trying to get some movement speed. Jump forward from Leo Style. He has the Sonic Wave if need be, but will just right click alongside his Slardar. Matthew picks up the last hit. In the meantime, Liposa TP is down with Costabil in the bottom lane, and they will take out this tier 1. But Sacred do overall seem to be controlling the pace of this game. TP in mid lane from Theo. And Benjaz is going to get caught with a stun here. Roll forward. He's in a Radiant creep, wisely so. With the Edict up, this should be a tower. ADR actually backs off, doesn't want to put the tower in deny range, wasn't willing to full commit to it, and he will find himself an Arcane Rune for his efficiency. Level 4 Edict, so really looking to ramp up the push.
What have we here?
Top lane. Radiant Vision will not scout the Legion just yet. And now will. Benjaz, you know, they tried to constantly avoid the presence of the Razor, so he is a bit behind, but overall the Dire seem to be in a relatively comfortable position. Smoke up towards Liposa and Theo in the top lane. That's Costabil and Bardo on the Razor and Chen respectively. They got a bit of vision in the area, which should help facilitate this move. Matthew, though, in a perfect position to bust the smoke, and he will try to TP away. There'll be a roll. It'll force him back to the west, and they should be able to kill him off. Meanwhile, ADR dies in the mid lane, and trying to get away is Matthew, and he'll be successful. So Sacred making all the right moves. They kill off ADR with just a Rage Frostblast. They even expend the Chain Frost for that. Well worth it, though. Meanwhile, top lane with a Blink Dagger here. Sub 12 minutes. King Tekka. Well, he's actually going to get caught. They're going to cancel his Blink. Silence him up after the heal. Plasma Field is there as well, and they kill him off with the creeps. Bit of fortune. Maybe a bit of awareness as well for SG Esports. Catches them a kill onto the Legion Commander. Benjaz over to the east, infesting up a creep, so doesn't have that for the fight. As ADR trying desperately to finish off this mid lane. Matthew jumping forward is going to be there. He needs to land a stun, and he won't be able to do so in time. Well, he does right after the crush comes out, and it actually almost perfectly overlaps. Costabil trying to press forward, but fogged and outran was his static link, so he could not continue to press. A nice move overall from Sacred to the top lane. They get the tower and the King Tekka kill. As just that brief moment of vision that you get from the sentry placement tipped them off to the positioning of the Legion Commander, and they got off the silence from the Earth Spirit, as well as, well, double warding here. Silence from the Earth Spirit as well as the Plasma Field to prevent him from blinking. And they in fact got the silence off after the press the attack, so unfortunate for Legion. Not that she could press the attack once silenced. Nice silence coming out from Theo bot lane. They get the static link off. He's saving the stun as well, but they can't quite kill Leo. One right click needed, and it's there as the creeps actually find the Queen of Pain. And that is more the plays that SG expect out of their 4-position player on that Earth Spirit. That is a big kill for them to find, and all of a sudden Prophet and Razor assuming the top positions on the net worth chart, and what is a very even game thus far. Liposa TPing in, it's got the Treants as well, and with the Plasma Field they'll start to put some work into this tier 2, which has already been chipped down rather low to this point in the game. One of the reasons they picked the Legion Commander is exactly for this wave clear ability, and she will join them bottom lane. 1,000 gold in the pockets of the Slardar, so nowhere really near the blink, and he's the one infested up, perhaps rather peculiarly, with having a blink available both naturally on Leo style and via an item on the Legion that he was in the Slardar there. But nevertheless, he will extract himself from his buddy's body. As Costabil begins to farm with the Dragonlance, has the Yasha queued up. Liposa just doing some work pushing in the top lane as he jungles by his lonesome. Benjaz does have the armlet, so, you know, rather fight ready, but not necessarily scary. Doesn't pose a large threat at this point. ADR, Theo, and Bardo going to make their way towards the top lane, and they will see Matthew mid. So it looks like for now, Benjaz is going to be the target that they've set their sights on. And they do have this Treant but trying to keep their distance. Matthew going to pick up a regen.
Generation.
And they will immediately take the high ground here. Pretty wise move from SG, but unfortunately for them, Matthew makes his way down in towards mid. In order to defend top, though, a lot of heroes here from Sacred side, and they're actually looking to flank from below. This could be a very interesting beginning to this engagement, and it looks like they should be able to get the duel off. Nice smash, though. It is going to catch the starter on the west, and everyone from Sacred are running because of it. They could not re-engage. Wrath of Nature will connect onto 2. This will mean the tower goes down as well. So just not enough backup for Matthew to make a move like that, and he is punished. And the team punished thereafter, where their tier 2 does drop. Nicely played.
A soldier's fortune.
Bardo making a move up on the high ground. The Dire Vision will scout him and his Razor now. Leo style setting up. Has a Kaya. A bit interesting for the Queen of Pain. Plasma Field maybe briefly catches Vision, but unlikely. The key point is, though, that this Radiant Vision here will scout at least 2, if not 3 heroes. Take a look at the Radiant Vision. Yeah, so they saw 3 heroes just a moment ago and make a decisive move into the Roshan pit, which seems to be a great call here for them. It is going to work out. Interested to see who takes the Aegis here. More than likely ADR on Leshrac, as he, with a full health and mana pool, can output a lot of damage, and he picks up the Soul Booster.
My thanks.
Haste.
Alright, infested up is the Legion Commander. ADR needs to be careful not to stand under all these units, and queuing up the overwhelming odds. It does connect onto ADR. He has an Aegis, though. So kind of the least of their concerns, as Liposa down below is going to try and find Matthew. He just freshly picked up a Blink Dagger, though, and that'll be his route to retreating. ADR positioned rather safely here over on the west side, and does pop up the Diabolic Edict now. Going to be doing a lot of damage to the tower. And doesn't care all that much about Ice Armor either. No real threat or risk for SG to do this, as they see most of the Dire heroes here, so no risk as far as trades go, at least, I should say. Diabolic Edict once again working on the tower and whittling it down quickly. Matthew is going to be scouted here briefly when he walks uphill and actually gets the crush off. Meanwhile, Split Earth is going to miss. They try to engage on the Legion Commander. Can't do it just yet. Liposa thinking about TPing in, but he sees a couple of heroes, walk over this ward here, and with the Sentry, Sacred will remove that vision. But nevertheless, their tier 2 should fall here shortly, and ADR the one to pick up the last hit there. So their Aegis will at least secure them this tier 2 in the mid lane, and in the meantime, Prophet farming away. You know, he's starting to widen the gap as far as net worth goes away from his enemies, being that he can always TP in the fight. Oh, speaking of which, though, with the Blade Mail bottom lane, this should be a dead Prophet, and it is. Huge kill for King Tekka. Not only does he get the dual damage victory, but he stops a 4x kill streak. Meanwhile, though, instant reaction in the mid lane onto Benjaz, and they have the buyback on this Prophet. Matthew going to jump forward, gets a crush off. Scream of Pain is there as well. Hand of God, though, keeping the Razor in fighting shape. And they will extricate themselves from any further risk, does the SG squad. So big death for Liposa, who is worth a lot, and that's going to pole vault King Tekka up the net worth rankings, but still top heavy for the Radiant.
A tithe to
ADR with the Aegis is going to be able to complete up his item here.
Gold is a great invisibility.
And there it is. Bloodstone going to be completed. Matthew looking for the Chen and has a comrade nearby in the Queen of Pain. No Hand of God available. And he does not survive. Now the overwhelming odds jump forward. Blade Mail is going to be there. She's having her damage sap, but the Sonic Wave is going to end up finishing off the Earth Spirit. Legion Commander going to be able to walk away. Razor in trouble now. Sprouted up. And Matthew connect with the Crush. Chain Frost coming through. Liposa and ADR, the last two standing. ADR pretty much out of mana here. Drops his Bloodstone on the ground to get the efficiency out of the Magic Wand. But it is a 3-for-1 so far. Lich could be in a little bit of trouble. Does get Orchided up. And Split Earth is going to be there. So they will find a return kill. 2 supports for a Razor and 2 supports in favor of Sacred. And they do keep the Aegis for now, but that'll pretty much effectively eliminate the Aegis from play, as it will expire shortly. Around that point there.
This will do nicely.
Any other big item pickups to speak of? There is a Yule's on the Queen of Pain, so pretty good versus the Razor who wants to jump into the fight. You can kind of ignore him for a bit. Also just good against the Earth Spirit, Silence, and the Orchid of the Nature's Prophet, of course. Medallion for the Chen, not nearly as farmed as you'd like him to be. Certainly farmed compared to the Masoku Lich, who is dirt poor, but ADR with the Bloodstone at least can kind of power farm at this point. 16 charges, as his Aegis will expire here 22-22 roughly. Treants for scouting for Liposa, and a lot of SGs line up nearby, but Dire Vision's going to scout all of them. Matthew jumping forward. 3-man crush. Chain Frost is going to be there. Scream of Pain as well. Hand of God, though, keeps them pretty healthy. Benjas is going to jump in with the Legion Commander, though, and finish off the Razor. They'll get ADR as well. He responds almost instantly because of the Bloodstone, but everyone survives with a beautiful initiation coming out and from Matthew, and he's unable to get the Chen there. Can they stun him up, though? Split Earth is going to be there. There's going to be the Stomp as well, and now he's in trouble with the Lightning. So one more tick from Poison, or Pulse Nova, I should say, and doesn't get him it done, as the range here, not the largest. So Matthew's able to sprint away with that extra bonus move speed in the river. And Sacred are dragging this game back. Take a look at the metrics, and yeah, the lead that was accrued by SG has just begun to diminish, and quickly. Benjaz has a Desolator working on an AC, and that's going to synergize nicely with the Corrosive Haze. Meanwhile, top lane, another duel found by King Tekka. Liposa trying to chase him down, and will guess wrong, in fact. Sprout not going to do all that much here. They need a little bit more. Roll forward. Silence is there. Can they get the Boulder Smash? It is there. He cancels the TP. This is a big kill to find on King Tekka, and there's no support inbound. The Earth Spirit will be the one to get it. 3 times kill streak is going to be ended. Perhaps would have been a little bit more ideal had Liposa found that kill, but either way, they get the return kill after their Razor takes a spill. Still, it's a few good dual victories now for the Legion Commander, sitting on 66 bonus raw damage. Matthew, not much to speak of in the way of item progression since the pickup of his Blink Dagger. ADR. Don't think he's scouted here by the dire side. Certainly is not. 10 Bloodstone charges now, and rather low on mana, in fact. Working on a Yule's. And he has been blown up rather quickly. Scan from the Radiant is going to find one hero. That's Benjaz. Posa still feeling tentative about showing face in this bottom lane, as he should. Leostyle is nearby with an Arcane Rune. And we'll clean up his units quickly. As well, they've got Matthew to back up the Queen of Pain. So both teams with rather limited vision. You look at the Dire's vision on the opposite side of the map, it's really only this. And looking at the Radiant vision, just the one near the shrine.
Gold is a great conductor.
Yule's to be finished up here shortly by ADR. Can't really say he's in fighting shape though, this Leshrac. Roche is not going to spawn for a minute, and SG essentially sacrificed their bottom tower by giving precedence to this Roche spawn. They are pretty much always in dire vision on this, side of the map though. And that's why we've seen Sacred able to avoid them, to get a tier 2 bottom, to farm on the rest of their cores. They've got a full-on BKB 10 seconds now on the Legion Commander. And the AC is not too far off. About 1,100 gold away is the Lifestealer. Showing on the bottom lane is the Prophet. No Shadow Blade on the Slardar though. And now knowing that, they're going to TP, try and find a numbers advantage, and they'll go in onto the Razor. They're going to blow him up quickly. Hand of God is going to be there. He still ends up dropping though. Now Theo's a little bit out by his lonesome. Jump forward from Liposa, gets the Orchid off onto the Lifestealer, but the Sonic Wave comes through and the Blade Mail duel. They finish off ADR and the Razor. Nice TP out, heads up play by Liposa, but still Sacred looking dominant as far as being able to find the initiation. Oh, jump forward crush is gonna catch Theo. He's got a blink in 1 second though, and he catches the roll. Oh my goodness. Matthew with the plays. Now the boulder smash forward only connects onto one. Corrosive Haze is there onto Theo. He drops down to magnetize, and a jump forward overwhelming, or moment of courage, excuse me, proc helps the Legion Commander kill off the Earth Spirit. And they'll finally get this tier 1 28 minutes into the game. Sacred feeling good about themselves in this one with the well-played spam. Liposa goes for the Lincoln Sphere. This will allow him to split push a little more freely against the Legion Commander, but there's always the potential for, you know, Corrosive Haze into duel. So still a very vulnerable Prophet just by his lonesome. And the Force Staff now comes out from Matthew as well, so he's got an even larger range of initiation. Legion Commander for King Tekka, looking to find something. He's actually going to force out the Eye of the Storm. And, you know, not the largest cooldown, so not necessarily something to write home about. King Tekka does have the BKB as well. He will get caught by the Wrath of Nature there as he blinks into vision. Rather patient from both sides. You can really kind of feel the tension as far as what's on the line here. Trip to the grand finals of the qualifiers. Liposa bottom lane going to throw out some treants at the wave. And looks like they're keen to take this middle lane tower is Sacred.
My thrift rewarded.
Leo style up in the front, ice armor activated. And SG playing together, but not with any clear objective in sight on the top side of the map. No towers available. Shrines are not vulnerable yet. You know, just trying to play around their vision, it seems, as they farm the enemy jungle. So they'll establish a little bit of vision here and hope that Sacred will retreat to that area of the map after taking the mid lane tower. Well, they'll try to assume the high ground here under the cover of smoke. And Leo style could be the perfect target. Oh, he blinks forward. They'll get him down. He can't get the Yules off as he's stunned up. Big kill for SG's side. And that'll mean likely Roche. But they try to pursue for more here. Chainfrost's going to be thrown out onto Theo. And he will throw the kick, trying to get the Lich. Won't be able to do so. Masoku makes the TP out. And into the Roche pit SG will go. 55 seconds, no Queen of Pain. Bottom lane is being dealt with by King Tekka's Legion Commander. But SG will get a much needed Aegis and cheese on this one. So perhaps the Razor gets a cheese with ADR getting the Aegis. As Liposa at this point feels the most survivable of the three cores, weirdly enough. It'll be Aegis, Razor, Cheese on ADR, so reverse, but either way, the same couple of heroes given effectively a second life.
This will do nicely.
Feels like the Razor may be a better Cheese carrier, excuse me, as you know, you have your static link up. If you die, you lose that damage, whereas Leshrac, if he dies, doesn't lose anything. In fact, he is just going to gain a fresh mana pool. So that was an interesting decision, but I mean, either way, I agree as far as the two heroes carrying those items. Liposa just continuing to do Nature's Prophet things with his Maelstrom, constantly shove these waves out. Always going to be nice against the Legion. Speaking of the Legion, well, they blow up the Razor instantly. Does Liposa look to TP in here? Jump forward. Nice stun onto 2, and the BKB going to be popped off by King Tekka. They get the roll off onto Benjaz. Meanwhile, Chainfrost goes out on the north. Hand of God is there. Masoku going to drop down to the Magnetize. Razor taking a lot of damage from Benjaz. Can they slow him down? No. The Sonic Wave comes over the top. Kills onto 2. The Earth Spirit's down. Gem on the deck. Stun does connect onto 2, but the Shadow Strike is there. ADR is likely to fall here. He drops with a cheese in his inventory. And Sacred have just been out executing SG as far as the team fights go. There isn't much potential for big plays with, you know, cores like Razor and Prophet in the team fight context. But certainly the positioning and the decision making as far as when to go in has been very good from Sacred, specifically Matthew and King Tekka. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Dual Scepter by Liposa, or Dual Scepter by Leo against Liposa, who more than likely silenced him. And they'll take out the tier 2 mid lane. So a really back and forth affair in this one, and they want more, do King Tekka and Benjaz. King Tekka level 23, highest in the game by a decent margin here. Looking to eclipse that all-important level 25 mark.
With me.
No one going to bite the bait just yet, but they do have vision in the mid lane. Smoke's going to get popped. He'll pop the BKB and the Blade Mail. Jump forward. They'll get onto the Razor and kill him with ease. Now they'll continue to fight forward. Force out the Dual Scepter by ADR. The crush is there from Matthew. It'll get them a second kill. Now taking a lot of damage into the Leshrac, though. King Tekka choosing to press forward here against the Chen. And now a TP from Liposa. He's going to get crushed instantly, though. And Sonic Wave just kind of whiffs from Leo style, but 4 heroes on the sideline. It looks to be a full 5-man wipe. Double kill going the way of Matthew, and he'll be able to blink out, and they'll even get backdoor protection eliminated here as they'll take a Rax for free. And with the tier 2 down bot lane, they should take 2 Raxes here. No buybacks available, and they'll be privy to that fact very soon here, as no one out of the grave for SG. So 2 melee Raxes minimum going the way of a Sacred side. And the underdog, sure underdog in this matchup, is going to take a very firm grip on this game. as the creeps mid lane finish the second lane of Rax entirely. 35 minutes in here, a crushing blow has been delivered to the SG side.
A tithe to the impurities.
Despite Liposa's best efforts on the Prophet, his other cores just have not been able to pick up the slack. Had they just picked Sven, man. Tough to find the route to a comeback here for the Radiant side. No real major items to come their way. Like, Matthew on the starter has a freaking BKB. And he'll force himself forward, find at least the Earth Spirit into a crush. Masoku coming through as well. Meanwhile, King Tekka looking for a dual target. Can't find one just yet. They get the Shadow Strike off, though, and finally they'll find the Razor. Sonic Wave over the top. ADR trying to fight around the Shrine, but he's going to be dropped too as the Shivas from Leo style keeps him in place. Liposa goes for the TPL. Should be successful in doing so. Bardo, though, he's going to be shredded. And with his last dying breath, will wave the white flag as Sacred take game one. King Tekka and his boys shine here, especially himself and Matthew on the Slardar, taking the first game of this best of 3, and there is value in that bet for sure. Look at the Legion Commander here for King Tekka, 11, 4, and 12. With in excess of 750 XPM, was the highest leveled hero in the game, sitting on 25. No one else even making that milestone. 178 bonus dual damage. Very nicely played by King Tekka, the captain of Sacred, as well as Matthew on the Slardar. And everyone else, you know, picking up their end of the bargain. So, kind of felt like, you know, SG just was a little bit off from strategy, from draft, and the lanes did not go, you know, very well. They were able to at least kind of shut down Benjaz early, but that's pretty much all they accomplished in the early game. The 1v1 matchup for the Legion Commander just gave her a little bit too much, and despite the Nature's Prophet being equally, if not more, farmed, Legion just able to get a little bit more done as far as influence on the game with her Blink Dagger. So really well played in this game 1 by Sacred. They're going to take a 1-0 lead, guys. Dota Summit 8 here. Game 2 coming up. Semifinals between SG and Sacred.